I thought it would be a great idea to buy a 1-pound bag of sugar-free gummy bears. Big mistake, huge mistake. I demolished the entire bag in minutes, like it was an Olympic sport at first. Life was good. Then, 30 minutes later, the storm clouds gathered, cramps hit like Mike Tyson. I started sweating like I was in a sauna sponsored by Satan himself. I was 6 miles from the nearest exit, trapped in bumper-to-bumper traffic. GPS cheerfully told me the nearest gas station was 30 minutes away. My intestines, however, gave me a strict deadline of 5. Every red brake light was a personal insult. I was panicking, clutching the steering wheel, whispering to myself,
Hold the line.
"Hold the line." Meanwhile, Niagara Falls was building pressure behind the dam. By some miracle, traffic picked up. I floored it, then immediately saw flashing red and blue lights. A cop pulled me over. Fantastic. Just what I needed. He strolled up to my window as I sat there trembling like a chihuahua in winter, sweat pouring, hand shaking. He asked me to step out. Bad idea. Officer, bad idea. I waddled out of the car, cheeks clenched like Fort Knox. He asked me to walk a straight line. I told him my current situation. He took one look at me and, with the mercy of a saint, waved me off with just a ticket. I blasted home, barely holding the gate shut. Ran inside, flew up the stairs, and then betrayal. My body said, nope, this is as far as you go. The dam broke, a puddle formed, my pants went down, but not in time. The toilet transformed instantly from porcelain white to rich Hershey's brown. And then it began, a 1-hour non-stop chocolate fountain of regret. All thanks to a bag of sugar-free gummy bears. It all started again with those cursed sugar-free gummy bears. I swore I'd never touch them after last time. But there they were, sitting on the shelf, looking innocent, smiling, mocking me. I bought the bag anyway, a pound of chaos wrapped in cellophane. Halfway through the bag, my stomach started sending telegrams. You're exempt. We regret to inform you the bears have declared war. I rushed into the nearest store bathroom, but of course the door was locked, and that's when she appeared, Karen. She was standing there, arms crossed, clutching her Veni iced latte like it was the Holy Grail. Excuse me, she sneered. I've been waiting for the family restroom because my son needs to wash his hands. You can just hold it. Lady, my colon was about to rewrite the laws of physics. This wasn't a hold it situation, this was DEFCON 1. I pleaded, I begged, I explained in terms she should have understood. Ma'am, in about 90 seconds this entire hallway is gonna look like a Taco Bell crime scene. But no, Karen wasn't budging. She sniffed, flipped her haircut, and said, maybe next time don't eat so much junk food. That was it, the gummy bears decided to take matters into their own paws. My stomach roared like a dragon awakening from its slumber. I dropped into a squat I didn't even know my body was capable of. The look on Karen's face when Niagara Falls broke loose, legendary. She shrieked like she'd seen a ghost, yanked her kid and sprinted away, yelling, I'm calling corporate. Meanwhile, I waddled into the now vacant restroom, victorious, but broken. The bears had won again. After the Karen restroom, Standoff, I swore again to never let sugar-free gummy bears control my destiny. But destiny, it turns out, comes in resealable 1-pound bags. The morning of my big job interview, I spotted the half-finished bags sitting on the counter. They whispered to me, "Eat us. We won't hurt you this time. You need the energy." Like an idiot, I listened. By the time I walked into the office lobby, my stomach had already started playing the opening notes of the Symphony of Doom. I checked in with the receptionist, sat down and prayed my colon would grant me mercy. The hiring manager arrived with a smile. Let's start with a simple question. Tell me about yourself. And that's when the bear struck. A cramp hit me so hard my soul left my body. Sweat poured down my forehead like I'd just run a marathon in a sauna. My voice trembled. Well, I'm a team player. Another rumble, a violent one. I shifted in my chair, clenching like I was trying to crack a walnut with my butt cheeks. The manager frowned. "Are you okay?" I forced a smile. "Absolutely, I'm passionate about growth, gurgle, and expansion." My intestines chose that exact moment to release a sound that can only be described as a dying walrus calling for help. The manager's eyes widened. I knew I had seconds. Either I ended this interview or the interview would end me. I bolted upright, shook the manager's hand with the speed of a Formula One pit stop, and sprinted towards the restroom. I didn't make it. The hallway became ground zero for what historians will one day call the Great Brown Catastrophe of Corporate Tower 7. Needless to say, I did not get the job, but the gummy bears, they got another victory. The war was far from over.
After the humiliating job interview incident, I decided the safest place for me was the skies. I had a flight scheduled and I told myself, there's no way I'll eat gummy bears before a plane ride. I'm not that dumb. And yet, there I was at the airport, waiting at the gate, nervously munching away on my trusty 1-pound bag of sugar-free demons. Halfway through boarding, I realized I had made a fatal error. We took off seatbelt sign on cabin lights dim, and then the rumble. It started as a whisper in my gut, a gentle warning. By cruising altitude, it was a full-blown earthquake. My intestines were staging a coup d'etat. I tried to distract myself with the in-flight magazine, but every ad looked like it was mocking me. Escape to Niagara Falls. Go with the flow! Unleash your adventure! Sweat beaded down my forehead. I pressed the call button. The flight attendant approached. Restrooms are occupied right now, sir. Can it wait? No, it could not. I shifted, clenching harder than TSA on a suspicious suitcase. The plane hit turbulence, and so did I. Each bump in the sky was a drumbeat, announcing the imminent apocalypse. Finally, the restroom light blinked green. I bolted down the aisle like a man possessed. People stared, a baby cried. Karen,
Yes, she was on the flight.
muttered, some people have no manners. I slammed into the bathroom, fumbled with the lock, dropped onto the toilet, and unleashed an eruption that could have registered on the Richter scale. The engines roared outside, but nothing matched the jet-powered force inside that tiny lavatory. For the next 45 minutes, the plane was a metal tube carrying 200 passengers and one man locked in mortal combat with gummy bears. By the time I emerged, pale and trembling, the flight attendants applauded. Karen gagged. The gummy bears had won again, but the war wasn't over. After the airplane disaster, I promised myself a break from sugar-free gummy bears. But like a toxic ex, they always found their way back into my life. This time, they tagged along on date night. She was gorgeous, classy, way out of my league. I needed everything to be perfect. Candlelight wine, fancy entrees, and for dessert, I thought it would be cute to pull out a bag of gummy bears, sugar-free, I said with a wink. Healthy choice. Big mistake. We were mid-conversation, laughing, connecting, when the first cramps stabbed me like Cupid had swapped his arrows for rusty daggers. I froze mid-sip of wine. She tilted her head. You okay? Yes, I lied as my stomach performed Cirque du Soleil with chainsaws inside me. Minutes passed, sweat pooled at my temples. My laugh turned into a wheeze. The waiter came to ask about dessert, but I was already in survival mode, clenching harder than a kid holding the last slice of pizza. Then it happened. A sound slipped out, not a small one, not one you could blame on the chair squeaking. No, this was a baritone whale call that echoed through the restaurant like a mating signal. Her smile vanished. I bolted for the restroom, praying for an open stall. Of course, occupied, I leaned against the sink, trembling, bargaining with every deity I knew behind me. She walked in, furious. This is the women's restroom. I don't have time for gender norms right now, Jessica. I cried as the floodgates prepared to burst. Seconds later, Mount Vesuvius erupted. The restroom was transformed into a crime scene. The relationship, dead on arrival. When I left, she was gone. The only thing waiting at the table was the check and the gummy bears staring at me with their evil little grins. The score, bears, 5, me, 0, and the war raged on. night gone wrong. I tried to rebuild my dignity. No more bears. I swore I'll focus on my career, be professional. But professionalism went out the window the moment someone brought a giant bowl of gummy bears into the office break room. Help yourself, they said. I did. A little too much. Fast forward to 2 p.m., the big quarterly meeting. The whole company was there. The boss, the board, even Karen from accounting. Yes, she somehow works everywhere. And me? I was the lucky one scheduled to give the presentation. It started fine. Slide 1, smooth delivery. Slide 2, audience nodding. But by slide 3, the rumble began. My stomach growled so loudly, it got picked up by the conference room mic. I froze, everyone stared. Technical, typical difficulties, I stammered, while Niagara Falls prepared for its grand encore. Sweat trickled down my collar, my knees shook, I gripped the podium like it was a life raft. The boss frowned, "Are you all right?" "I'm passionate about the numbers," I said through clenched teeth. Then it happened, a sound ripped through the silence, vibrating the PowerPoint projector. Half the room gasped. Someone whispered, "Was that thunder?" No, friends. That was the opening note of the Gummy Bear Symphony, movement zits. I panicked, words tumbled out. Quarterly profits are explosive. I croaked as another gurgle betrayed me. Suddenly I doubled over, dropped the laser pointer, and bolted for the exit. The door slammed behind me, but not before the entire office saw the look of pure digestive despair on my face. I didn't make it to the bathroom. The hallway became a scene from a disaster movie. Janitorial services still refused to speak to me. The board didn't fire me, but I was strongly encouraged to work remotely. The Gummy Bears had claimed another victory. But deep down, I knew this wasn't just about me anymore. This was bigger, darker, global. The bears weren't finished, not by a long shot.
The war had raged across traffic jams, airplanes, dates, and offices. But now the bears were done playing small, they wanted the world. It began at a carnival, bright lights, roller coasters, cotton candy in the air. I was just trying to enjoy a corn dog in peace. But no, the neon bag of sugar-free gummy bears glowed like a cursed artifact in my pocket. I ate one, then another, then the whole bag. That's when the sky darkened, the Ferris wheel stopped. The earth rumbled, and from the shadows of the funnel cake stand, they emerged, giant gummy bears, 30 feet tall. Dropped their balloon animals, Karen,
Because of course she was there.
pointed at me shrieking, "This is your fault!" My stomach detonated like a tactical nuke. Each cramp I felt, another gummy bear monster spawned. 1, 2, 20. They marched, glowing, unstoppable. The carnival turned into a battlefield. I was sprinting through cotton candy clouds, dodging tilt-a-whirl cars, flying through the air, all while clenching my cheeks tighter than the jaws of life. The army arrived, tanks rolled in, helicopters circled. A general screamed into a megaphone, "Soldier, hold the line!" But I couldn't, the line broke. I dropped to my knees in the center of the carnival, unleashing a blast so powerful it short-circuited the bumper cars, launched corn dogs into orbit, and sent Karen flying into the dunk tank. The crowd roared in terror, fireworks exploded overhead, and then silence. The gummy bear monsters melted into sticky puddles of neon sugar. The Ferris wheel flickered back to life. Humanity was saved. But as I lay trembling in the cotton candy rubble, I looked to the horizon and saw it, a shadow colossal. The king gummy bear with glowing eyes. He raised his gummy paw and growled, "This is only the beginning."
Roll credits.
Hopped up in bed, drenched in sweat, heart pounding. The traffic jam, the airplane, the beach, the wedding, the apocalypse, all of it gone, just a dream. I looked around my bedroom, morning light creeping through the blinds. Birds chirping my stomach, calm for once. I laughed nervously, it was all just a nightmare. Then I heard it. "Are you okay, honey?" I turned and there she was, Karen, my wife. The haircut, the glasses, the eternal look of disappointment. She handed me a cup of coffee like nothing was wrong. My soul left my body. All the memories came flooding back, begging her for bathroom keys. Her blocking me at the beach restroom, her screaming, "I'm calling corporate," as I fought for my life, and now she was making me breakfast. "Relax," she said, "sweetly, I made you something special." She placed a bowl in front of me, Cheerios, skim milk, and a bright orange label on the counter that froze me in horror. "Fat-free gummy worms." I stared, she smiled. They were on sale, I thought you could use something healthier. The world tilted, my stomach growled like an angry lion waking up. My vision blurred, somewhere in the distance I heard church bells tolling. And then I realized the true nightmare wasn't over. The sugar-free gummy bears were just the beginning. The fat-free